Somebody's nicking a lorry! Monday morning, and I'm in the yard. The weather was not kind to us over the weekend. We had some serious downpours and wind. The wind did not damage anything, but the car park is a tiny bit flooded. With the work we did a couple of weeks back, the car park actually handled it a lot better than it had done previously, but there's still a little bit of puddling. The lads in the construction firm have no such problems. That's why they always love to have a job like the central London penthouse at a time like this when it's raining outside. So let's see how they're getting on today. As part of our commitment to the client and the neighbours, we've covered the communal staircases which we access with protective film. This protects from any spillages, dirty work boots, and we hoover at the end of each day. The first job today is to remove the existing and fit new, as it's been roughly a week since we did this last. Now it's delivery time, which we've collected ourselves this morning. We need to cut down the sheet supply so they fit into the lift and tape the lengths of timber together. Without doing this, it significantly increases the chances of us damaging the walls. Now we're preparing a wall for dot and dab plasterboard installation by painting with PVA glue. We do this to improve the wall's adhesion capabilities as the PVA seals dust, debris and other loose particles. We have a delivery of cement which is just offloading now. This is 29 tons. We've got 200 ton of type 1 going into one job, we've got 6F5 going into another, and we have muck coming out. We have surpassed a milestone. The Ashville YouTube channel has passed 100 million views. And we have passed 21 million hours of watch time. That's huge. We started doing videos in January of 2020, and that is some good going. So I'd like to thank everybody who's taken part in the journey, whether that be their creative contributions, their editing contributions, anyone who worked with us for any videos, and of course the Ashville team. And now we're gonna head out with one of the drivers, which is very fitting seeing as the lorries are all over the place going in and out and we're flat out. George has left the yard with an 8-yard crane skip and a 12-yard skip. We use an 8-yard crane skip as we are out of normal 8-yard skips at the moment. When loading, George knew which skip he was dropping off first, so he placed this one at the bottom, which means he can drop both skips down and take one out of the top and then head to the next job for an exchange. It's the same sort of tech as here. Load the full skip onto the lorry into the empty one, then drop down both skips. Then take the full skip out of the empty one, load it onto the lorry, and leave the client with an empty 12-yard skip. And a little friend who thinks he can fly. Let's fly away. We're still using our pressure washer to clean the lorries before they leave the yard, but it started to put out a bit of oil through the air filter. It's going to need a repair, but at the moment we just need to keep it going to ensure we don't drag debris onto the road. There's an air filter on this, which we need, and for the life of me I've gone online and I can't find it, and I'm not sure how to get the exact one we need, because even when you type in the model numbers, parts have been superseded. So I've taken a couple of pictures of it and I've sent it to one of our suppliers, and hopefully they can find the correct one so we can get it on here as soon as possible, because with a new air filter on it might work a small bit better. We also had a delivery of the cutting edge for the 586, and we're just going round to all of the Reimer volumetrics and we're changing the hydraulic filters on each of them. So the hydraulic system which runs around and makes all the gear on the back work, there's actually 3 filters on each of them, and we're changing all of those at the moment one by one. There is one filter inside the hydraulic tank, and then the other 2 are here. In a lot which I share, I always say it's open to interpretation. A lot of the time, depending on your view or how much respect in the world of business you have for a particular person, or how much respect you have for their resources, you determine the business decisions they make, whether they are in fact good or bad decisions, or if they shouldn't have done it in that way, or if, you know, they should have pursued other avenues. Let me give you an example of that. When Elon Musk buys Twitter and fires 80% of the people there because he believes they weren't required, and he doesn't pay the landlord, and he gets it to a point where they need to renegotiate, and he brings the cost of the business down significantly so it can be profitable, a lot of people say
he's a genius and it's great.
When Alan Sugar, when anybody steps into a business and they make very difficult decisions, but they return a business to profitability for them as the owner or for the shareholders, a lot of people say
they have great business acumen and it was fantastic and they can turn around businesses.
If someone else, let's put a lot less zeros on it, makes a business decision, people can look at it and say,
they shouldn't have done that, that's not right, they should have found another way, or they should have just accepted it.
Based on your view or the level of business acumen which you attach to that person, you then believe the decisions what they've made weren't great, they should have found another way, there's a moral obligation to humanity which they haven't followed. However, if someone else in the public eye with billions made the same decision but with more zeros, you would say that that was a great business decision. And you would look up to that person and respect them and say you'd like a company like that one day. Think about it. It's Tuesday morning and I'm in the yard, and something came to me last night, which once again throws all my plans into disarray. But this one isn't a harebrained scheme, and I doubt that this will help us take over the world. But hear me out. I want to keep the road clean. You can see us cleaning the wheels on the lorries as they leave each time, and then cleaning the area out the front here. But that is not a long-term solution, and we are not going to be able to concrete the yard anytime soon because of the issues with council enforcement. I'm going to take this gate post and move it to here. I am then going to put a small extension on each of the gates. If I put it all on one gate, the gate will be too heavy. Hopefully these gate posts are robust enough that when I extend each one by a little bit, the gate will not be sagging. We move into the yard, and where you can see Terry parked, I am going to take, morning, the wheelwash reservoir, and I am going to dump it right here. Then going to put the wheelwash and the wheelwash ramps here. So we're going to lose this parking in this area, but so be it. It's more important to keep the roads clean. I need to leave a little bit of space next to the reservoir so we can pull up alongside it, so once the three chambers have removed all of the silt, we can get into it and pull the silt out. But if we have the wheel wash here, it means that every lorry leaving the site needs to go over it, and then there's just a small area before it gets to the gate. Widening the gate means it will have more space to leave, and people swinging in will also have more space. If we have to do emergency maintenance on the wheel wash, the drivers can get round it. We'll still have a lane for one to come in and one to go out. And as you saw a couple of weeks back, Welder Faber has been in and he's welded and strengthened up the ramps for us. This is going to be a project for us over Christmas. We're going to have to create a concrete platform right here, and we're going to sit the wheel wash on top of it. That's my plan and my story, and I'm sticking to it. I was actually meant to be at the refurbishment project this morning, but the client had to fly out to LA with their team. I've still got the sample of the stone for the kitchen worktop in the boot of my car. And now I can see a company have turned up who are going to do a bit of maintenance on our train line. Over by the waffle board, they're going to begin to grease our signals and have a walk around and just check everything is in working order. You saw me crying in Weekly, weeks and weeks back, talking about the colour that I want to have our stoppers in. I want to have them in yellow and black, but I was told they need to be red. Incorrect. They just need to have a red light to indicate that everybody should stop. And then I told you about Tom, who has found some vintage ones which he is going to gift to us, and we're going to put a light inside them. Well, Tom has managed to shot blast them, and a red oxide, nice, to breathe some life into them, and all they now need is a lick of black paint and they will not rust. He's also managed to get these lamp irons. That's basically what we're going to use to hang it from our stopper. So our brand new train track is going to have the addition of some character and some heritage from the railway. This isn't really a Christmas message because I missed it already. This is more season's greetings, thanking everyone for watching for another year. And I'm requesting, and I'm going to do it myself, if all of us could just call one person who they believe over this Christmas period are going through a dark time. Now, many people look forward to the festive season to see family and have some downtime, but there are many people who absolutely dread it and they are having very dark days. So reaching out to them, you don't understand the difference it could make if they believe that there's someone else out there who just took the time of day and they remembered them. You see, every week here, I share that business is challenging, while life can be even more challenging. And there are a lot of people, I've experienced it as well, who go around while they smile, there is a big grey cloud over their heads and they're keeping everything inside. And at a time like this, when a lot of shops are closed and people aren't working, they're on their own with their own thoughts and they're struggling. So please reach out to just one person, drop a message, do anything, DM them, whatever you can to just let them know that you are thinking of them. And the new year is upon us. Now, while I don't believe that the slate is wiped clean and whatever happened last year no longer matters, because it clearly does, I believe that if you are still able and you are still here, which you clearly are because you're watching this, that we all still have the opportunity to make changes, however slight those changes are, to try and improve ourselves in some way and therefore improve the lives of the people around us. So enjoy the festive spirit. Once again, thank you for watching. Just a few words that I thought I would share because I feel it's very important. It's Wednesday morning. I'm not in the yard. I'm at Scania Heathrow in my Scania bomber. When I used to go to QPR in my QPR tracksuit, I felt like a team member and not a fringe player, an indispensable member of the squad. I do not feel the same being at Scania in my Scania bomber. I'm going to head into my meeting now, but at the Central London Penthouse project, we are beginning the work in the bathrooms to fit the basin mixers, shower mixers, and connect up the toilet cisterns. Meeting at Scania is done. I resisted the urge to go and buy 20 new tippers when they started telling me about all the exciting new specifications. Didn't agree for a number of reasons. One, because I ain't got the money to pay for it. Two, because there ain't the work to do it if I was to add that amount of lorries to the existing fleet. But one thing we have done over the Christmas period, lorries which are going to get tested in January, February and early March, we're actually going to bring them in here over the Christmas break. So between Christmas and New Year, and Scania are going to prep them for MOTs to be done in the first week of Jan when we're not too busy. That means that we're not going to actually lose the lorries in the busier periods, and we'll have tests for an entire year, and we'll try to repeat that cycle as much as we can, because when things are busy, that is never the time when you want to have to drop a lorry off for MOT, and it generally takes about 3 or 4 days. They get it in, they prep, they try to get a test, and we need the lorries out generating revenue. And it means that Scania will be under less pressure when they're looking over them and preparing them for test. Fantastic. Now I'm going to head back to the yard. We have 8x4 tippers outside the site raring to go for this muck shift. It's 30 loads out, and unfortunately no material in today. This material is basically slop. There's nothing that could be done with it, so we're heading to a permitted tipping facility. There we go, some steel brushes have arrived for the sweeper. The pump has just got back from doing the job. He's gonna wash off, and then he's got to take the lorry to Volvo for an inspection. We haven't seen it in a while. We're gonna see what Ben's been getting up to. The roll on roll off crane lorry is so versatile it can almost turn its hand to anything. Ben's in the heart of London with a 25-yard bin providing a weight and load for breakout concrete. We cannot get anywhere near the material, so a crane uses a gecko skip to transport and load. Time is 9:32 and I'm in the yard. I was working late and it's a pleasant surprise. There's a concrete lorry going out at 9:30. Night work, nice, we like night work. Hey! Hey! Very nice. I thought to myself, what is that noise? Somebody's nicking a lorry! But no. It was Ollie going out on concrete night work. That's perfect. Nice. And that's it for Wednesday. It's Thursday morning. We're in the yard. We have a parcel which I think is for the Central London Penthouse project. Came from my mate Johnny at Lux Casa. Samples for the kitchen. This is the internals, matte white, matte chalk, and then we have matte cashmere, matte white, matte porcelain, and matte top, whatever. There's a way of saying it. The layout of the kitchen is completely finalized, but these are just the colors of the internal and the doors.
4 meter by 3.7. Six meters.
So we could dig out a hole,
Yeah.
throw this in, and we could pour the concrete for this at the same time as the first slab for something.
Yeah.
This needs to be in because when we swap over, we can't have no downtime.
Yeah.
Do we have bits to weld onto that gate, to extend that gate?
That'd be good enough, wouldn't it? Just to put on the extension, and you'd want just a bit of a post for the end.
Oh, I thought we were just going to use bits of fence that are over there and just try and get the fence to just look the
Well,
same.
they're only fence panels. We haven't
Okay.
got.
We have to make the frame,
Yeah, it's the frame.
and then on
Okay.
frame we can put the fence. Yeah.
Yeah.
This should be towards us, so that should be like this then. No,
But no, you see.
no, we could just take the elbow off.
Which? This one?
No, the elbow at the end.
Yeah.
Because then you could just pick it up the way it is and drop it over there.
And then run around the
Yeah.
side.
Over there.
Yeah.
Oh, should we clean it all out?
Yeah, we did.
Remember we.
No, but it's been raining. Where's the water been going? Ah, here. There we go. That explains it. Look. Someone's been opening it.
No, there's water in that. Oh,
Whoa. Oh, it's not too bad now. Okay.
here. Or you're going to move and stuff like
H.L. Smith in the house. Is it Pam? Or Pam Weekly is the question. Hey, it's Pam! How you getting on with Pam Weekly?
They've been teasing me about that this morning.
Have they been teasing you, Pam? Oh, I'm sorry, Pam.
Could I just have a little signature on there?
If I sign it, it means I've got to pay for it, so I'm not going to sign it.
Oh, it's already paid for, surely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it is. You lot don't let anything out unless it's paid. There we go. Signed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pam.
See you again.
See you again. Right, this. What do we think?
Yeah, it's better than no one. It's got brake pads in it.
One handbrake caliper for the forklift transmission. What do we want? The bolts?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I think they're a fine trade, isn't they? Yeah.
We haven't been able to put the forklift transmission back in. One, because the jack is getting repaired as we speak up at Northern Jacks. Welder Faber, who was here a few weeks ago, dropped it off for us. We've been waiting for this handbrake caliper, which bolts on. So it bolts on here. So H.L. Smith have been good enough to drop us one off. So hopefully once we have the jack, we should manage to get the forklift operational again. And now we are gonna head out with a driver. This is a muck away at a basement job on an 8x4 grab lorry. This material is horrible, sticky clay. It cannot be recycled, so we need to take it to a tipping facility. Trying to make a plan for the work at the front. This is a bit overkill. How long is it?
3.5 meter.
Our fence is about 8 foot. This is perfect with the plate. Let's measure 8 foot from the top. There, that's perfect. Having a larger post like this will be able to hang a slightly heavier gate, because the one that's currently over there, it's spec'd for the gate that's on it, and we need to make the opening a bit wider. Part one of the plan. When we're installing that post, we're not actually going to take the gate down yet. We're going to be replacing this, so we're going to excavate and break out this area. We're going to drop it in, and we're going to pour the concrete around it, either on this side or the other side. So this is set. We can never have an evening when the gate isn't completely up and we're not secure. So put that in place, let it dry, and then in one day, take this off, do the amendments to this gate, extend it, weld hinges on that post, and then we should be able to hang everything all in one day and get the yard secured before the end of the day. But we're not going to be able to do that if we're waiting for the concrete to dry on the post. Well, that's the tank.
Yeah.
We're going to go that close up to the fence with the tank.
Yeah, I just have to go, whatever is sticking out, the pipes,
Okay.
has to be passed, yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe we leave some access as we go around.
Leave a little bit of access, bring it out a little bit so we can go round, because we never know.
Let's do that.
Tank will be here.
And now 4 meters for wheel wash.
You need a little gap between the wheel wash and the reservoir.
That's 370, that's the minimum.
So this is the end of the wheel wash. We spin the reservoir, the controls will be sticking that way. The pipes that come off the reservoir, the return and the supply will be here. Wheel wash return will be there, going straight that way, and the feed for the wheel wash will be on this side. Hello, George.
Power we go around.
Ah, the power.
The water goes on the fence, yeah?
The water supply is on the fence already there, and the power can dip round because we already have a trench underneath the entrance.
Let's see the cost of the cable first.
Hey, hold on, we got no spare cable we can reuse. Come on, man, please.
7 meter up in the air.
7 meters is fine. Each lorry has 3.5 meters if it was that small, but it's a lot bigger than that. You want me to bring the timber over here and the plywood? I believe we have a plan. Just give a little bit of an update. Remember I told you in Weekly a few weeks back, I had a problem with the registration of my Land Rover Defender. Land Rover put it in the wrong name, and I was trying to change the name to the correct name, and DVLA said they
Wouldn't do it unless the car dealership admitted that it was a mistake.
who then admitted it was a mistake, and then the DVLA said,
We're not interested, we're not changing it anyway.
as they like to move the goalposts, but what can you say? They're a government agency. They could do whatever they like. Those are the rules and regulations. So I went back to Land Rover and said, what compensation are you going to offer me? Because now I need to add another owner to my car. And we do know that I have some friends in the car business world, and I'm told it could reduce the value having another owner by 7 to 8%. Click here to watch a video where I bought the car so you can see how much I paid for it. And Land Rover have offered me £1,000 as a gesture without prejudice, not admitting they've done any fault at all. And they've offered me £1,000. Take it or leave it. I guess I'll just have to take that one on the chin, along with all the other things I have to take on the chin, because I'm not in a position where I can negotiate or bring anything else to the table or bend their arm. So that's it. My car's registered to the wrong company. Leave it in that company or change it and lose 8% of value on my car when I go to sell it. But I got £1,000 off Land Rover. So £1,000 is still a lot of money. Yes, and this is not life and death. It's still a lot of money, and it will come in handy, but it's not right, though, is it? In my opinion, it's not 7% of the value of the car. But yeah, well, anyway, Dudek's going to head back to central London to prepare for our meeting with the client tomorrow, and I got a Zoom to attend. We're collecting an excavator for which the hire has ended. Ben detaches the hammer attachment so he can pick up the buckets. Look at our lovely rubber on the flatbed, which is serving us well. Now we move the hammer attachment onto the flatbed, and it's time to secure the load. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. It's Friday, and I'm at the Central London penthouse project. I was having a look at the sample area, and I just moved the laser out the way. I didn't know the laser was being used, so I had to apologise to Adam. I've had a day of being on the road. I started off in central London at 7 a.m. for a breakfast meeting. I left there, I had to jump on the A40, and I had head to a meeting in West London. Then I left there, and at that point, I wouldn't have had time to get to the yard for my next meeting, which was a Zoom. So I went home. While I was waiting for my Zoom, I was able to jump on the radio to talk to the lads in the yard about the work that we need to do to prepare for tomorrow. And then once I left that meeting, I then drove back into central London again, had a meeting with the client, and the client has just left. They made a few decisions which are going to make life a lot easier for us, and we'll be able to continue with our fantastic progress. This is a picture of what the worktop is going to look like. The sample, which you saw us open the other day, is actually gone because the client took it with them, but I filmed it on my phone. We went through a couple of the blind samples, and then what was really interesting is we moved on to the decking outside. The client has taken our advice. I'm very happy about that. This is the flooring sample which was chosen previously, and we are going for a decking which is a very close match. Now, they're not going to be side by side because we have an upstand for the bifold doors, but having the two colors like this inside and outside gives a nice feeling of continuity. It makes the space outside feel a lot better. We showed some samples of sockets and switches. I had my money on the, where is it? He's rumbling around. Come on, Daniel. I thought the client was going to go for this one. We have satin nickel finishes in all of the bathrooms, and they're going to go for satin nickel double sockets. All in all, a great meeting. The client made decisions, which means we can put in orders with all of our suppliers and we can crack on. Now let's have a look at the progress in the rest of the project. In the living room, we've used our thermal cameras and there were a lot of places where heat was escaping, but now we have completely sealed it up. We put the suspended ceiling system in place and we've run our first fix. This is where our spotlights are going to be connected. Now we're using the rimless spotlights that you've seen in the past, which when we put the plasterboard, we'll fit it in place and then plaster over and it will have a seamless flush finish. You can also see all the work we've been doing with the air conditioning. You can see 2 of our 150mm ducts run into the plenum box here. Once again, when the plasterboard is in, there will be a flush linear grill, and this system is whisper quiet. When this room is complete, all the work we've done within the ceilings and within the walls and all the systems in place will make it feel very, very comfortable. Lads have prepared this little mission set. These are tools we're taking from site to put in the van to use them at the yard tomorrow to try and get some of the work done for our wheel wash. Over to you, Tilly. Aircon units are in. The client has approved the grid ceiling system. We're not going to use the ones exactly like the offices, the ones that look very bitty. We're going to use something flush, but then it also means that we can have like those flat LED panel lights. And we're probably just for the sake of and having the correct equipment in place should the worst happen, we're probably going to make one of the emergency lights with a battery backup, which means that if the worst happened and there was a power cut, it would still light because it would resort to its battery as opposed to the 240 power. Over here we have the water cylinder, which we are going to take and we are going to fit in this area. In one of the bathrooms, we are completely closed up. You can see the linear grill on the floor, which is not fitted as of yet because we still have to do work here. This is the toilet system for the wall hung toilet on the other side, and this is our shower mixer. We have a handheld shower. Here is our feed for our hot and cold water. And this outlet, if you follow it up, it leads to the shower head on the wall. This area is going to be a niche which is lit. This area is the niche from the other side. The wall hung toilet has been completely boxed in. Over here we have the basin mixer, and the cutout above it is where we are going to have the mirrored lit wall unit. Once again, you can see the plenum boxes for the air conditioning in this bedroom. We have the feed and we have the return, so the air in this room will circulate like this. Like circulate is actually a word. Spotlights, first fix, is in place in here already, and this is the only wall we have with 2 layers of plasterboard on it already. We're not ready to do that in all areas. And on either side of the bed, we have the switches and we have power points at low level. I'm standing like this because there's some gaps in the flooring. I'm not trying to stand like Ronaldo before he takes a free kick. This is the bathroom on the other side. Toilet system and the niche. The bath is going to be across here, and this is the bath mixer on the wall. You can see the hot and cold feed coming from the top. There will then be a shower over here in this corner. The last bedroom, plenum box, ready to go in. First fix, more or less already within the walls. We'll begin to build this up soon, and we'll do the same like you saw us do in the bedroom on the other side. Over the Christmas, we're probably not going to be working on site. We'll probably be working in the yard, but first week of January we'll be flat out in here again, and we should have more deliveries come through with some of the fixtures and fittings what the client has ordered. The time now is 4:24 and I am going to head back to the yard. Saturday morning and we're in the yard. It's going to be a busy day, and as always the plan has changed and we're going to do more than we thought we would. As you can see, that's an ongoing theme here at Ashville. The first thing we're going to do is Bartouche. He's going to sort out the permanent 110 volt connection to the traffic lights so Celtic don't need to keep coming in and changing over the batteries. So we're digging a channel from our small substation to run that 110 volt cable in to get it under the weighbridge, and then we're going to tack it along the weighbridge and then connect the traffic lights permanently. I know I said we're going to put the reservoir and the wheel wash here, but when we look at it practically, it's not enough space for the lorries to go over it and then get out of the gate. So we're now moving everything down. So this area where the buckets are, everything needs to be moved, and where you can see the Jersey barriers here at the start of this area, that is going to mark where the concrete slab is going to start. Now if I'm bringing the concrete slab all the way out to here, might as well go a little bit further, and the new post I spoke about earlier in the week, might as well go straight down all the way to the gate so the entire area is concreted. We're taking into account the slopes we require for drainage, which are not part of the actual wheel wash reservoir and the wheel wash itself slab, because they need to be completely level. So the plan is remove all of the buckets, we'll find somewhere else to put them, and then we'll move the Jersey barriers out the way, and then we'll begin to get our levels. We probably need to dig down about 300 in this area. You saw a couple of weeks back all the work we did putting in the 6F5 here. It's about 600 or 700 deep. It's not all going to be done today, but we can put the prep work in place and make a plan. Some of the lads are going to have to be here throughout the week in order to get this done, because the wheel wash is our primary focus at the moment. We're ready to go. We've run all of the cables, clamped them down. We haven't connected them because we're not sure if there are any settings that Celtic need to change internally. We didn't have anyone in the team who could come out and film, and I was far too busy. I was actually on a machine in the yard today myself. Once again, the height of the slab change, we're going to make it a little bit higher because we're trying to take into account the final heights that we're going to have in here. Because of the fantastic build-up of all the 6F5, we only need to really scrape off the top, and I hope that we can reuse this material elsewhere in the yard. I'd say Monday, we're probably going to spend the entire day again preparing here and then trying to put some timber shuttering in place. And we're going to pour in the same way you saw us pour previously when we did the other areas. We're going to pour a 1 6-meter area skip, another 6-meter area skip, and work our way down to the bottom. The plan is to finish by the end of the week, and then in the break between Christmas and New Year's, at that point we hope we can bring the wheel wash over, get it connected, test it, so in 2025 this area is a lot cleaner. I was meant to move the train track thing. I forgot what it's called. What's it called? Lamp iron. Lamp iron. The time now is... No, forget that. And at the central... Oh, Jesus. This is for... When I said before the meeting about I'm in my Scania bomber. This is before when I said I'm in my Scania bomber. Forgot what I was going to say. What was I going to say? Cha. I just blatantly just forgot. How did I have? Right, I've gone blank. What was I going to say? Right, imagine that. No, I've blatantly gone blank. Don't go anywhere. I need to speak to you guys, mate. We have a meeting with the client tomorrow afternoon. No, I meant it, Tone. I didn't need to speak to you. That's all right, isn't it? Yeah. One day. Oh, and there's the underfloor heating. Here's what I found. And that's it for Ashville Weekly, episode 219, I think. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click down here for an Ashville video you may not have seen before. And click down here, down there, for last week's episode, which was number 218.